Hi everyone, I'm Melissa. Welcome to Art Time with Melissa. Today we're going to make pumpkins, get into the fall spirit and make some lovely art for fall. We're going to be learning about different ways we can do it. Will you end up doing the really easy way, the medium, the super hard, or the super hardest way? I wonder what kind of challenge we're up for today. And we're going to learn about how we can do highlights and shadows and so many other great things. I'm going to show the different techniques at the beginning. If you think you can jump right to the hardest, then skip past all the beginning and just jump into when I switch to the construction paper. All you need is some sort of supplies to draw with and something to write on. I'm going with construction paper, crayons, and black paper for my final, but you can use whatever you like. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 4 different ways to draw a pumpkin. So I'm going to split my paper into 4 sections just so you can easily tell. Now you could even just try all of these to see, which one's best for me. If I can do the easiest one, then I can try the next hardest one. Or if I can do the next hardest one, maybe I'll try the next one. See how far you can go. Now I would suggest doing this with a pencil. I'm going to use a crayon because it will show up better for you from a distance. Alright, so easiest way. Rectangle stem. Circle for the body of the pumpkin. Curvy lines to make the pumpkin. Easy. Second hardest way to draw it is, I almost forgot to do the circle for the body of the pumpkin first. The stem, curvy line, close it, there we go. Now the circle for the pumpkin, curvy line. Alright, next trickiest. Little circle, down, close it. Circle for the body, curve. And the trickiest way, do a little hexagon. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't even have to be perfectly 6 sides. Just about a hexagon shape. Then from a few of the little points, we're going to go down. Then we're going to close them with a little curve. And then circle for the body of our pumpkin. Curved line coming out of those little points too. Curved line. So those are the different ways you can draw the pumpkin. Let's talk about the different ways to color them in. I'm sure a lot of you would just automatically go for stem green, body of the pumpkin orange. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the stage of difficulty you're at, we all start somewhere. This is a good basic pumpkin shape. Let's make it a little trickier. Second level of challenge to draw it in. So we're going to add a little highlight one in. I'm going to pretend the sun's coming in from this way. And I'm going to add a little yellow light to the stem and the body of the pumpkin before I add my green to my stem. And I'm going to go really light where I have that yellow, and my orange to the body of the pumpkin. And I'm going to go, again, really light and just kind of blend it into the yellow. Alright, next level of difficulty. We add our highlight, just like before. But we're also going to add a shadow. And this goes on the opposite direction of the light. So if the light's coming from this way, the shadow is over here. And then again, we're going to shade in our stem, shade in our pumpkin. If you're still with me, great job. Very proud of you. All right, ready for the next trickiest? All right, so we add our yellow highlight, But instead of going with just one highlight color, we're gonna also grab a medium highlight color. So this is like a little peachy kind of orange color. So not as dark as our other orange. And I'm just gonna add a little of that to areas of the pumpkin that aren't quite as bright as yellow, but still bright. I'm gonna add in between stem color too. So light green, where it won't be quite as light as yellow, but won't be quite as dark as the dark green. Now I'll add my shadows. And I'll start with my dark shadow, opposite end of the highlight, and behind the stem too, because we're going tricky this time. I'm also going to add a medium shadow color. I think I'm going to go with dark blue, but purple also works pretty well. Don't go too dark with this, just a little gentle shadow. And then again, I'm going to blend in my orange. I'm going to go right over those colors I just added, except for where I want like the very brightest areas. Just really lightly. And now, same thing with my stem and my darkest green. So those are our 4 levels of difficulty with drawing and coloring in a pumpkin. Wonderful. So then you can work on your full version. I think I'm gonna do a little hexagon. And do my little curvy lines down. Close it off. Add my circle. Curvy lines down. I'm going to go to each of those points. Great. Now I'm going to add my darkest shadow. And I really can't wait to see what you decide to do in the background. I had students adding medium shadow. I had students adding, there was vampires and mummies and bats and, oh my goodness, so many interesting things. There were signs that said trick or treat. Going in with my brightest highlight on the opposite end of the shadow. I had students adding faces, making these jack-o'-lanterns instead of simply pumpkins. Adding a little of that to the stem too. And my medium highlight. There's just so many ways to make this project really yours and really unique. And like, I'm adding 1 pumpkin, but maybe you do 3 pumpkins or 4 pumpkins. My other light color to the stem. Maybe it would be a whole pumpkin batch or family of pumpkins. And by the way, in the description of my videos, I always try to put other art teachers' amazing lessons. In this one, I'm gonna link an art teacher who did pumpkin patches at midnight. They're absolutely gorgeous. I would check them out. Those students must have worked so hard on their pumpkin patches. And, you know, it's really important to recognize when you see someone else's idea and it's amazing. I'm doing my own version of pumpkins, sure, but not every idea just pops into your head like magic. Sometimes when you want an idea of what to make for art, you're allowed to do a little research. And while we shouldn't copy everything exactly, we can take ideas, we can grow, we can learn from others. Because that's how the world really does work. Stem color. Nothing just appears out of thin air. So you can see on my final one, the one I spent a really lot of time on, these colors are much darker than this one. That's because I've only gone with a wash layer first, so going really light. So now if I went through and I darkened areas like this where I wanted them really dark, then I could create a really bright, beautiful pumpkin. You really want to take your time with that so that your highlights still show. So I might go in with that first for a little bit. Then maybe I go, oh, I can't see the lines of my pumpkin enough. So I deepen those up before I keep going. And then maybe I go, I really want that highlight to be bright. Maybe I want to make my highlight a little darker before I keep going with my orange. And it really becomes a bit of a give and take game. So a lot of art you learn is kind of treated a little bit like color in the numbers. And that's good to learn the basics and shapes. But most artists, when they're working on a real work, I'm going to take my time, master, this is my best work. They spend a lot of time going, this is pretty good. Now let me make a little change. Now let me make a little change. Let's make this a little darker. Let's make this a little lighter. Let's make this a little more orange. And they play with it. They just don't, boop, I put it down. It's perfect. I'm done. It's not how a lot of art really works. Especially what I like to do. I like to do a lot of oil paints. That takes a long time, like months of layering, to get something you're really, really proud of. All right. I could spend forever getting from here to here, but I think you get the point. Oh, how sweet is this pumpkin? I really can't wait to hear about all your wonderful ideas and what you draw in the background. I'll attach some of my students' photos so you can see what they did. If you want to support the channel, click on our links in the description to go to Patreon or follow my social medias, and you can even send me some of your projects that you created. I would love to see. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Enjoy.